Hello everyone, this is Commissioner Dick Schutz of the Central Minnesota's Finest League. I'm here to review week number 11 in our Fantasy Football League and preview week number 12. Before I do that, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. I hope you're able to indulge in some tremendous food and, of course, a little bit of football with the Vikings playing tomorrow and, of course, spending some time with family. So again, I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Also, stay safe. And without further ado, let's go ahead and review week number 11. Week number 11 involved 2 divisional matchups and 2 non-divisional matchups. All of them had something on the line for at least one team. So let's go ahead and break it down. The first matchup I want to talk about is a purple divisional matchup between Ryan and Mike. Ryan had the opportunity to clinch a playoff spot here if he would win this week and some teams were to lose. Well, that's exactly what happened. Ryan got the win 259 to 162 over Mike, and because Ryan won and those other teams lost, he now has clinched a playoff berth. He's the first team this season to clinch a playoff berth. There's no mathematical way for him to be left out because there's only 2 weeks left and the team in the 6th spot has 3 less wins than Ryan. You can all figure that out on your own. That means he clinched. For Mike, he falls to 2-9 on the season. He's already been eliminated from playoff contention. Ryan improves to 8-3. He's still first overall in the league and first in the purple division. The second matchup I want to talk about is a gold divisional matchup between Turtle and Troy. The first 2 go-arounds, Troy defeated Turtle both times. This time, Turtle got the better of Troy, 227 to 128. A 99-point victory for Turtle, which is an absolute kick in the nuts for Troy. I mean, his team did not show up. Turtle improves to 5-6 in the season, while Troy falls to 7-4. Now, despite the loss for Troy, he is still leading the gold division right now as it stands. He's 7-4, and everybody else is either 6-5 or 5-6. For Turtle, with that win, he now moves back into the playoff picture. He goes from 7th place to 5th place, a huge win for Turtle. Now he controls his own destiny moving forward. The third matchup I want to talk about is the first non-divisional matchup here in Week 11. It's between Kyle and Steph got the better of Kyle, 192 to 165. Steph now moves above the 500 mark. She's 6-5. She remains in 3rd place overall in our league and is in 2nd place in the purple division behind Ryan. Kyle falls to 5-6. He is now 7th in the league, which means he's out of the playoff picture, and he is in 4th place in the gold division because of the loss. He definitely needs a strong end of the season here, the last 2 weeks, to get himself back in the race. He is fortunately tied with the 5th and 6th place seeds with wins and losses, so all it takes for him is to be one up on those guys these next 2 weeks. The fourth matchup I want to talk about here in Week 11 is between Dusty and Jared. This was a huge matchup for both teams. It proved to be a really good one, too. Jared got the win 209 to 204 against Dusty, thanks to a Monday night performance from Doug Baldwin. This was a really, really good matchup. Probably one of the top 3 or 4 best matchups we've had all season. And there was a lot on the line, as I had mentioned. Jared, with the victory, moves to 6-5 in the season. He is now 4th overall in our league. He's definitely in the playoff race in the picture. He can afford to go 1-1 the next 2 weeks, and he should still be in the playoffs without a doubt, along with Steph, who is also 6-5. For Dusty, he falls to 5-6. He didn't really lose a whole lot with the loss. He still got that 6th and final playoff spot, but he's going to need a strong end of the season to continue holding on to that 6th spot, or even be able to jump to that 5th spot. You know, to obtain that 4th or 3rd spot for Dusty, Kyle, and Turtle, I mean, it's tough. It's tough to get 3 or 4 right now because both Steph and Jared have 1 win more than they do. So it'll be difficult. They would have to hope that Steph and Jared probably go 0-2 here, and they both go 2-0. That would probably be the only scenario I could see, because both Jared and Steph have a lot of points for, and they'll probably win because of the tiebreaker as well. Now let's go ahead and preview week number 12. But before I do that, I want to talk about the standings here after week 11. So here goes. In the purple division, Ryan leads the way. Again, he has clinched a playoff spot. He is 8-3 overall, 6-2 in the division, and he's won the last 2 games. If he wins in week number 12, Ryan will have clinched the purple division, as well as he already clinched the first playoff spot here in the season. In second place in the purple division is Steph. She is 6-5 overall, 3-4 in the division. She is well in the playoff race. She virtually needs just 1 more win to get herself into the playoffs. In third place in the purple division is Dusty. He's 5-6 overall and 4-3 in the division. He does have that 6th and final playoff spot, but he's holding on to that thing by just a thin piece of paper, basically, is what it comes down to. In fourth place in the purple division is Mike. He's 2-9, 2-6 in the division. He's lost 3 in a row, and because of that last loss, he has guaranteed the worst record in our league. Nobody will be able to tie him for the worst record. He will have the worst record in our league, guaranteed. In the gold division, we have Troy leading the way. He is 7-4 overall. He's 6-2 in the division. He probably won't be able to clinch the division here with a win in week 12, but if Troy wins in week 12, he will clinch a playoff spot. Or if the following teams lose, all of them, Troy will also clinch a playoff spot. If Dusty loses, Turtle loses, and Kyle lose, if all of them lose in week 12 and Troy loses as well, Troy will still clinch a playoff spot. The easiest road for Troy, just win. If you win, you're in. In second place in the gold division is Jared. He is now 6-5 overall, 3-4 in the division. He's won 3 straight games. Jared is definitely one of the hottest teams in our league right now. He's having a strong push to the end of the season. And again, like Steph, all he needs is probably 1 more win, and Jared will be in the playoffs. In third place in the gold division is Turtle. He is 5-6 overall, 4-4 in the division. He's got the 5th seed right now in the playoffs. He is in there, and like the other 5 and 6 teams, he's going to need to have a strong push to the season here the last 2 weeks to get in. But as it stands now, he controls his own destiny. In fourth place in the gold division is Kyle. He's 5-6 overall, 2-5 in the division. He's lost 2 in a row. This is the worst time for Kyle, a team that's battling for that last playoff spot. This is the worst time to have a losing streak. He needs to break that here in week 12. If he doesn't, he's more than likely on the outside looking in. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about the playoff picture, and then I'll move on to previewing week number 12, Thanksgiving week. The quarterfinal matchups look like this as it stands. The 3 versus 6 matchup is Steph as the 3 and Dusty as the 6. And the 4-5 matchup in the quarterfinals would be Jared as the 4 and Turtle as the 5. Ryan and Troy are still slotted to get the first round bye. Ryan with the win here in week 12 will guarantee a first round bye. And Troy, more than likely, will have to wait until week 13. But as it stands now, he is the 2 seed and he has that second bye in the quarterfinals. Again, we reseed after the quarterfinals, so the highest seed will play the number 1 seed. Now let's go ahead and preview week number 12, Thanksgiving week, and also this is one of the last 2 regular season matchups we have in our league. This is absolutely a critical week for 3 teams at that 5-6 mark. So let's break it down. First matchup I want to preview here is between Mike and Steph. Mike has nothing to play for right now other than to probably spoil Steph's playoff chances, although Steph's playoff chances are pretty high at this time. Mike is 2-9. Steph is 6-5. Look, for Steph, you gotta beat a team like this. You know, Mike's team's not been very good at all this season. He's not been able to put together back-to-back strong weeks since about week 2 or 3. So for Steph, this is about taking care of business, setting a really good lineup this week, and getting the win. You can't afford to let down here against a team like Mike, who's struggling, who doesn't have a heartbeat. So for Steph, just handle business, take care of business, and get that 7th win of the season. The second matchup I want to preview here in week 12 is a gold divisional matchup between Turtle and Kyle. Both teams are 5-6. Both teams have a hell of a lot to play for here. The winner will absolutely guarantee themselves one of those top 6 spots. The loser is more than likely on the outside looking in. So, the winner of this matchup absolutely elevates himself not only into the playoff race, but they gain a game off of whoever loses this game. So it is absolutely huge. For Turtle right now, he's 5th overall. He's in the playoff race. Like I said, he controls his own destiny. For Kyle, you know, he's struggled lately. He's lost 2 in a row. You got to get a win here if you're Kyle. You got to set a really good lineup, and you got to break that losing streak. You can't afford to go into week 13 having to win and hope that some teams lose. The third matchup I want to talk about here in week 12 is another gold divisional matchup between Troy and Jared. Troy, you know, with a win here, like I said, in week 12, he clinches the 2nd playoff spot here in the season. He is 7-4, 2nd overall, and Jared is 6-5 overall and in 4th place. For Jared, if he wins this game, he will be in a 7-5 win-loss record tie with Troy. So for Troy, your playoff chances look really good, and you'll get in with a win or a loss from Turtle, Kyle, and Dusty. But if you lose this week, Troy, you give Jared a solid chance to win the gold division. For Troy, you cannot afford a letdown here. If you win, however, if Troy wins, yes, he gains that playoff spot, and he clinches a playoff spot. But with a win, he would also assure himself the gold division, more than likely. In fact, if Troy wins, he will clinch the gold division. I just noticed that. I'm sorry about that. I didn't mention that beforehand. If Troy beats Jared here in week 12, he will clinch a playoff spot, and he'll clinch the gold division. The fourth matchup I want to talk about here in week 12 is a purple divisional matchup between Ryan and Dusty. Ryan has gotten the better of Dusty both times this season. And for Dusty, this is an absolute must-win for him. For Ryan, look, he's already clinched a playoff spot. If he wins this week, he clinches the purple division, just like Troy. If Troy wins, he clinches a playoff spot, and he clinches the gold division. So for Ryan, the division title is right there within reach. For Dusty, look, you're 5-6. You're right there at that 6th seed. You know that either Turtle or Kyle will get a win this week at 5-6. So you know one of those two teams is going to be 6-6. If you're Dusty, you want to hope that Turtle is that team, because then you can afford to lose this week. Dusty, if he loses this week and Kyle loses this week, he'll still be in that 6th spot. So for Dusty, this is a really good opportunity. If he wins this week, and then the scenario where Kyle loses this week to Turtle, well, that gives Dusty an absolutely perfect chance to go ahead and clinch week 13 if Kyle loses again. So for Dusty, if you win this week and Kyle loses, you will not have to win next week to clinch a playoff spot. So, very big for Dusty. You know, just like Troy, or just like Turtle, Dusty, you guys control your own destiny. You guys go 2-0. It doesn't matter what anybody else does around that area. You will be in the playoffs. That is the last matchup I have here in week number 12. Look, guys, this is crunch time. This is absolutely crunch time. The odds that Steph and Jared clinch a playoff spot this week are slim to none, but their playoff chances are very high. We're more than likely going to see a battle for that 5th and 6th seed, and that's about it. I really wish everybody the best of luck. I hope you guys set the very best lineups that you can, especially those 5 and 6 teams who are battling and scratching and clawing for that 5th and 6th seed. Because look, this is fantasy football. All you got to do is get in, and you got a chance. Anything can happen. So, good luck.